Hello and welcome to the Priced Up Cheltenham Preview Night Day 3 preview. I'm your host, George Elek. I am delighted to still be joined by the racing blogger, by Johnny Dineen and by Aidan Coleman as we go through every single race at the Cheltenham Festival, going through Priced Up's prices and giving selections on each of them. We've just done episode 1 and episode 2, so if you've come straight to this one, make sure you go back and check those out. Priced Up are boosting loads of selections over the course of the festival. We've been through plenty already in the first 2 days. We've got more coming on the Thursday and Friday. So if you haven't got a Priced Up account, definitely sign up for one and you can make the most of those boosts. Let's get straight into the action though, and we're going to kick off with the Mares Novice Hurdle, where 6.5 is the 5-2 favourite ahead of Marine at 7-2, Jubilee Alpha 7-1, Caroline Bamboo 7-1, Galileo Dame 9-1, 12-1 bar those. Blogger, come to you first, 6.5 or Maureen? What camp are you in?
I mean, I took the opinion. I went into a betting shop on the high road about a month ago and I got 5s on Maureen to win. I thought she was going to drastically shorten when she wins her novice hurdle debut. And to be honest, she hasn't. And she's quite weak on the exchange as well. Everyone seems to be really keen on 6.5. She's a 90 rated flat horse. She hacked up beating Qualameter. But like Johnny will tell you, like everyone's beaten Qualameter in Ireland this season. It's not really a great form stick, is it, at all? No. I know that like the people who own Maureen, I've spoken to them about this mare, and they say she's a certainty for this race, but there doesn't seem to be any confidence in the market. I know Willie Mullins has been stated as saying he's worried about her lack of experience. She's only had the one run over hurdles. Bar the top 2, I think it's such a poor race in between. Air of entitlement for Rob Corr, I don't think she's good enough. I couldn't have a Paul Nicholls horse at this meeting period. Galileo Dame could place, but she certainly won't be winning. It's between the two. You could Dutch your bets and back both of them. I'm with Maureen, but I tell you, I don't really have that much confidence, and it's a race that really, from a betting perspective, doesn't make much appeal.
Wow, never thought I'd hear you say that. Johnny?
Yeah, look, I think it's an open race. I genuinely do. I think there's quite a good few horses here that have a chance. I'd be of the opposite opinion to you, Stephen. I think Maureen has no chance in this race. Genuinely, no. She's no experience. She's won over hurdles. She's never run this ground as quick as this. I'd say she's very brittle character as well. I'd say difficult to train. Yeah. That's probably why she's not shortened. Yeah. I don't see any big money for her coming either. 6.5, one, again, it only has the one run over hurdles, but it has a lot more flat experience, whereas Maureen is only running a Punchestown bumper. 6.5, as you say, anyone would beat Qualameter. It's not worth a fiver, that thing anyway. So, like, but she was a reasonable flat mare. Like, she was 80 something in the flat, but she was like running into Cesaridges and things like that. So she's going to stay well. Like, so will she have the pace for a race like this? Look, the first thing I'd say anyway is I always found anyway from my experiences of going to Cheltenham, as a punter and making the book, the pendulum starts to switch in favour of the bookie once you get onto this track. Like up to the last 2 races on the Wednesday, I favour the punter. After that, the bumper, and then maybe the Grand Annual, and then you start off here. I think the bookies have a better chance than the punter, and I think this is an open race. I could see the likes of Jubilee Alpha, Caroline Bamboo, Galileo Dame, Diva Luna, Just Rose, everything. I think all of them have some sort of chance. Plus, there's probably ones that I can't even see that could come into it. To me, these two, like at in around even money, the pair combined are 5-4. I thought that was probably the lay of the whole meeting, the two of these combined.
So, Johnny taking on the top 2 of the market. Aidan, how do you see it?
Well, I just touch on what Johnny said there about tracks. Probably because this is a proper track and the other one's a kip.
Is it right?
Oh, absolute dog track, the other one, yeah. There might as well be in different countries. The difference between the two is absolutely ridiculous. If you're good at riding one, you really need to be versatile to ride the other, because it takes... Like, this is a hold-up track and a patience track. And like, I'm not saying you have to drop in. I'm just saying... You cannot commit on this track. It's and also as well in the hurdle track, you have to remember in the hurdle track in this course, there's in the last 7 furlongs, which is particularly nearly half the race of this, there's 2 hurdles, which is massive for an average jumper or something like that. It also means it takes more stamina because there's no hurdles in the way to break up the pace of the race and all that. So you really need a strong stare around here and a jockey who's patient, and again, I'm not saying drop in, I'm just saying one that doesn't like getting a horse off the bridle too quick, because it won't work here. If you're pushing a horse turning in here, you're really struggling. Whereas on the old course, which is the Tuesday and Wednesday, it's the opposite. You need to be fairly aggressive and fairly forward. I really like Galileo Dame here. I really do. She probably would have won the last day. I think Johnny would agree if she made a really bad mistake.
Is she running here, or is she going to go for the tribe? Or what?
This is the thing, you see. I'm not really sure. I'd imagine she'll run here.
Would she? Yeah, she'd get a lot of allowances and things here.
Yeah, I would imagine she'd run here because I don't think she can win a triumph. We'll get to that later on, but I don't think she can win a triumph. But I'm sure she can beat all them ahead of her. But I don't think she can beat. Again, we'll get to it. East India Dock or Lalumba. She'd be my idea of a winner of this.
Just trying to find the price currently. Galileo Dame basically tight to the exchange at the 9-1, so looking likely to run here. The selection for Aidan. On to the Jack Richards novice handicap chase, the new handicap chase this year at the festival. Jaguar is the 5-1 favourite ahead of Nürburgring at 13-2. Asian Master 7-1. Fire Fox 8-1. Jordan's 8-1. Answer to Cave 9-1. What are you two giggling about?
I don't know. We could be really disrespectful here, so I don't really ask the question. But who's Jack?
Yeah, so I said this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a memorial race.
Right. Okay.
So don't worry.
If it is, edit it out because I really feel bad. Like
I think it's like a construction company.
He said whiskey.
It's such a
Coke.
yeah, but it's such a bad because I googled them in order to find out who they were and I couldn't find out, which completely nullifies the whole point of doing sponsorships.
Anyone know what Jack Richards is?
They've got some lorries that have Jack Richards on the side. That's all I could find. So good luck to them. I can't remember where I was, so I'll start reading out names of horses. Johnny, anything you like here?
Look, Jaguar won here at a meeting. I'd say it wasn't even wanted. It got £7. It probably has a chance. I can't have Nürburgring. It's a flat horse that won the Galway hurdle. I know it's been primed for here, but Jesus, it'd be rooting fences, like it'd be belting fences. I saw it in Leopardstown last. It was lambasting fences. It was, you know what I mean? So I couldn't fancy it anyway. Asian Master is probably well in here, but the young lad that owns it rides it. So I think it is 11-2 with him to claim 7. That's 10-9. He won't be able to do it.
That would be a sorry, no disrespect. He's well able to ride and all that, but him in this race is a massive disadvantage because he just doesn't have the experience. It's not his fault. So.
I have a feeling though that if he doesn't ride it, it won't run. That's what I'm told.
Right. Okay. Well.
Do you know what I'm saying? That he's their horse. He's his mother's horse, and that.
It's fair.
Yeah, and he's going to ride it if whatever race is going to be in. He'll be on it if there is a race for it at the meeting. So I'm guessing that mightn't even run here, you know. I have a feeling that like Paul Townend isn't going to ride it, and people are backing it.
Paul wouldn't ride in this race if there's a 1-10 shot in this race.
Would he not?
Oh, he will not ride. He will ride in the county hurdle. Probably be the only handicap he'll ride in the week.
Okay.
He doesn't ride in handicaps at Cheltenham.
Right.
100%.
Well, Mullins has never won a handicap chase here as well, which is
ever. Yeah,
which is an interesting one. But I have a feeling Asian Master won't turn up here. Firefox might run. I think he's 151. It's probably about what he is, I'd say, roughly at the most. Answer the Cave one, slower ground, won't win. Springwell Bay, I don't know where that's running. Blizzard of Oz is more to Carrot. Jaguar's a good chance, but he's not certainly around line. But he's 5-1, but he has a good chance. Of the ones that are in the left hand side of the board, he's the only one I'd even consider having that on anyway.
What about Jordan's?
Yeah, Jordan's is a squeak, I suppose. Yeah, but he could run in the Arkle, though, couldn't he?
It'd be madness to run him in Arkle, which he cannot win, as we said earlier. Like he will not.
But he may run into third, would he? Like
but he could win this though. What would you want to do?
Maybe so. Yeah. Well, he's a better chance than Nürburgring for sure. Yeah, exactly. He has some sort of a chance, but he probably exposed enough Jordans at the same time. He came from France with plenty of experience too. Yeah. Look, I'd say Jaguar is probably the horse to beat, but again, I wouldn't be backing him either. Now, you know.
Blogsy, who are you backing?
I'm going to go totally against Johnny here.
Yeah.
To be with Joseph O'Brien's Nürburgring.
Would you like that?
Yeah, he's been laid out for the race.
I think you two should, just lay each other's bets for the week.
Exactly. Yeah, take each other on. Johnny meets Blogsy. He's had 3 runs over fences to get a mark for this. I think he's got a mark of 142. They think he's better than a 142. He's ran behind Down Memory Lane, Janot Lapin, the big 18-hand horse, and Touch Me Not. Form ties in quite well. Granted, he hasn't been anywhere near the 3 of them, but I think it's been laid out to be that way, and they're quietly confident.
One statistic, and I know you don't believe in statistics and things like that, and I would be against things are there to be broken. Flatbred horses who started their career on the flat have the worst record at Cheltenham Festival you could ever get. Nürburgring is out now flatbred. He's by Zoffany, started his career on the flat. flatbread horses don't win at Cheltenham in general. Really don't.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd be worried about his jumping here. I could see him doing all sorts of damage here.
I mean, look, it's a guesser's race, right?
Yeah,
It's a race not to have a bet in, really.
Yeah,
in my
I think so.
opinion.
Yeah, I
Right.
think so.
In that case, on to the Potemps. The Ballpark is the 11-2 favourite, ahead of Jericho de Repenay and Will the Wise, both at 6-1. Win some, lose some. Blogs, you know all about that. 8-1. Feet of a Fancer, 10-1. Gwenny May Boy, 10-1. 12-1. Bar those. Blogs, anything for you in the Potemps?
Yeah, I was down with Nicky Henderson a few days ago. I saw Jericho de Repenay. I was speaking to Nicky about him and how he's ended up running over 3 miles over hurdles instead of being an Arkle horse. The simple fact of the matter is he couldn't jump well enough over fences. You go back to last season, this horse was the second coming. Do you remember when he ran at Newbury? Everyone wanted to be on him. He won his first 3 hurdle races. I said to Nicky, is he a 3 miler now? Is he a 2 miler? He looked at me and smiled. He went, well, off that mark, it doesn't matter. So, listen, I think he's off of 135. And I think for a horse of his class, he's probably got about £10 ahead of the handicapper, and he's going to be bang there. It could be another JP winner. I can't.
Where's his class though? Like, he's never shown class.
I mean, did you see the ride at Exeter last time out?
I understand what they were doing in that respect, but if he had that much class, it wouldn't matter who rode him and how good they were at doing that job.
Yeah.
He still would have won, or got in trouble.
Yeah.
I think this is the biggest con of a horse I've ever seen. I never liked him when he won his few races over hurdles. I just couldn't buy into him either. Even when he was winning, I thought there's not much more in the tank. His chase run where he pulled up was, I don't know, they just made all these excuses where I didn't think he actually jumped that bad, bar 2 fences. Again, if he was a top class horse or anywhere near it, wouldn't have been an issue. He would at least got round in the race. I really can't, I'm open to being wrong now. I just cannot have this horse in my mind, full stop. Really can't.
That's interesting.
The lads aren't being very nice to you.
Couldn't have been. I can't be any more strongly against him.
No, but that's what we want to hear. Absolutely, contrasting opinions,
Anything, Aidan, you do like here?
Do you know? I know it's an interesting. I'd actually fancy the wall at the wall park for the stairs. I'm not saying he'd beat Tuihupu, but I'd fancy him to be thereabouts. So I suppose if I'm saying that, I can't say I couldn't fancy him for a handicap an hour before. And there was one other that and again, it's slightly fancied as well, but Pádraig Roach is a trainer that I really like, and Johnny would probably echo that, wouldn't you? When he's got a plan and a day, and I think that horse's win some, lose some has been set up for it as well. But again, I don't put much homework into these handicaps at all, but I just know I do fancy the wall park to run well in the stairs hurdle, so then I have to fancy him in this. And I don't like Jericho de Rumpeton full stop, so I have to tell you that I don't like him. That's my input.
Johnny?
Yeah, I don't think Jericho de Repenay will have the stomach for a race like this at all. He would be a horse that probably a traveller, and when it comes to the crunch, I can see him being found wanting, to be honest. It's an open race. Again, it's another handicap hurdle. It's a deep one with plenty of horses with chances. You'd have to give the Wall Park, Will the Wise win some, lose some, Gwenny May Boy, Dart, Pattern Merchant, all them some sort of chance, I would have thought. And
Thomas Cooper, Dart. You have to respect him at Cheltenham is the only thing I will say.
Yeah, that has a chance, yeah. He's just got touched off from Carlisle, got qualified there. He's trained for the race. He's only a young horse. He's only 6-year-old. So.
And what he brings to Cheltenham is always in the money, really, isn't it? He
Yeah,
brings very few over, so that's a trainer I'd respect. I don't know
He's a
about
good
the horse.
chance, I do think it's an open race, but I agree with you, Aidan. I think Jericho de Repenay. I know I heard he's mad fancied now, but I could not have him on my mind. I think he'll blow it here in a big way, to be honest. I don't think to win this race you'll need to battle like a train from the back of the last, and I don't see a horse coming pulling a train and winning easy. Do you know what I mean? I think this is usually, even though it's a 3-mile race, it's very often a close finish. The likes of de Burley and McCoy was touched off by Ruby one year in a really nose finish as well. So I think you need to get down and dirty to win a race like this, and that's one thing Jericho de Repenay won't do, in my opinion.
Leave it up to you guys in the room and you guys at home to decide. Blogger who's with Jericho de Repenay or the other lads who are against him. Maybe you guys can agree in the Ryanair, where Factifile is a 7-4 favourite, Ile Francais is 4-1, Spalane's Tower 7-1, Protectorat 15-2, Gaelic Warrior 17-2, Jungle Boogie 14-1, Jello Al Fabiolo both 16-1, Banbridge 18-1, Hartwood 20-1, 25-1 Bar. Aidan, feels like a decent renewal of the Ryanair this year.
Well, it's competitive. Whether it's decent or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I cannot have Elek Francais in my mind. Really can't. His only form is on flat tracks, and then he's also, on top of that, he's also viable not to turn up and pull up as well. Like he does that as well. 2 of his last 4 runs, he's pulled up pretty much. I can't have him. He should be running the other race, as I said earlier, the Champion Chase. I think Factifile is a good price, only in the aspect of what's going to beat him. Spillane Tower, I doubt is going to run in this race, as far as I'm aware. Protectorat on soft ground, but I don't think it's going to be. Would be a hard. Dan Skelton is very adamant that he thinks he's training better now than he's ever trained, which is interesting. He bolted up the last time, but again, going forward, I don't think Windsor's a track anyone should take any heed of. I think it's. Speaking to the lads who are riding around there, they all hate it. They think it's a gaff track. So in that, I wouldn't take much respect to the Windsor form, but then he did bolt up, and he is the winner of this race last year. So like, you'd have to give him a lot of respect. My idea here would be Factifile to be Protectorat. Like, I don't know where Gallic Warrior is, and even is this season. Like, you know, he's not been competitive at all, or a long way from it. So yeah, it's Factifile, boring selection, but he's probably a good price.
Blogger, do you don't shy away from a favourite? Where does Factifile rank in your book this
Yeah, I mean, my take in this race is Elek Francais has no chance. He's a flat track body, as Aidan already said. And if you actually watch some of his races in France, he got beat a 4-1 on. There was no excuses. He just down tools. He got beat by Thalame, who was a champion stayer over there, when he was a 5-6 favourite. And then they reported he had a wind problem when he got beat the last time. Odds on. For me, he's a horse who likes to bully other horses. He's not going to be able to bully Factifile. The only worry I have about Factifile is horses who take on Galopin Des Champs suffer afterwards. He takes a lot out of his rivals, and he's had 2 hard battles against the champions so far this season. You know, he's a big strapping horse, but he's going to have to really back it up now. You just have a nagging doubt. You know, with Mark Walsh, you know, he was kind of niggling away at him there a long time out in the Irish Gold Cup. I don't know if I really want to be getting stuck in. The vibes don't seem too strong. He seems too big a price. I mean, why isn't he an even money favourite?
That's the thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you know,
he should be shorter.
On reputation, he should be 1 to 3, shouldn't he?
Form's so far clear, and we all know he's a course and distance winner at Cheltenham. To me, I don't know. I'd be a bit worried about those battles he's had. He's got some scars, hasn't he? And I don't like backing horses with scars. I couldn't have Protectorat on the ground at all. I don't think Spillane's Tower will run. He needs soft ground.
I'm sure he's not running. I actually think they're on record of saying they're not running, yeah.
Willie said today Gaelic Warrior will go for the Champion Chaser. He's not running, apparently. I suppose you could give Jungle Boogie an each-way chase, but you're only guessing, aren't you? This is a very trappy
ran a good race in the Gold Cup last year.
He did indeed. Yeah.
Do you know what's interesting as well about Factifile as well? The handicapper agrees with us. He's the exact same mark as Jello. Right. They're rated the same, so his figures don't add up to his reputation, do they? Which is probably why he's 7 to 4, isn't it? As I said, I do fancy him because I think he's better horse than Jello, but it is a worry, like it literally echo what you said, that he's not odds on.
Yeah. I mean, I did put up Hartwood about 2 weeks ago, and I heard Rob Aitchison say that, look, you know, while he's a consistent horse, he wouldn't be anywhere near the league of those front 3 in the betting. So if the owner's saying that, I mean, you don't really fancy him, do you?
They just want to pick a price.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, I kind of like the favourite Factifile. I suppose the reason that he is probably 7 to 4, 2 to 1, he's not cast down to run here surely yet. You know what I mean? They haven't said that he's definitely not going to run in the Gold Cup. So you kind of have that, I suppose, in the back of your mind. I kind of agree with what Stephen is saying there about it's not ideal getting beaten in 2 probably tough enough races. And I suppose at the end of the day, you would be disappointed with him not getting second place, getting run out of second by Grange Clare West the last day for over 3 miles. Like, he did have no problem staying 3 miles last year. It's hard to believe he doesn't stay 3 miles, really. But I do think one thing about this horse is that he's bringing form like Spillane's Tower or Galopin Des Champs and that horse of Martin Brazel's, what's he called again?
Faster Slow.
He's bringing that kind of form into a race like against the likes of Protectorat, Jello, and they've all been running against each other, and I think it's a different level of form completely. And if he's as good as he was when he won either the RSA or the John Durkin, I think he'll win. And I think the fact that they were hanging on to him and he was butting fences and that, this race, you'll have to lie up, because you can't give Ile France, like, I don't really fancy him myself, but you still can't give him 15 lengths of a start at the same time. Do you know, he got into a rhythm.
I'd give him 20 lengths. Absolutely. He'll get to the bottom of the hill, he'll look up to the top and see the finishing post and say, I'm out.
Yeah.
He'll just say, I'm out. I really think,
Yeah, look, I don't fancy myself, and I think that the track might be against him. But you still can't afford to give that horse a horse that maybe that ability on a going day, that kind of a leeway. And I think they'll keep in tabs of him. And I'd expect him to be maybe third or fourth at worst. Whereas other days he was all over the place, behind and in and out and every kind of a mess and like that. And you even the last day in Leopardstown, you just wouldn't know, was the jockey told not to maybe knock him about either? Do you know what I mean? If you weren't going to win. They'd be at that old stuff as well. That like, you know, if you're not going to win, don't kill him. Like, you know what I mean? We want him for another day. So this is his meeting. This is where he'd be going to be primed for. Like last year, he got beaten by American Mike. You know what I mean? In a novice chase in Navan, and he still come up. He was like 7-4 on in the RSA afterwards. So this is his meeting. I think he'll win, to be honest.
Factify has been boosted by the guys at PricedUp, out from 7-4, the listed price, to 2-1. So if you agree with the lads, I think Factify is a good thing. 2-1 is the price. Before we get to the stayers, Blogger, there's been some more goals in the Arsenal game. Do you want to guess?
5-3.
7-1.
Christ almighty.
That doesn't happen very often. On to the stayers hurdle. Tiapu is the 11-10 favourite, ahead of Home by the Lee at 13-2. Lucky Place 8-1. The Wallpark 12-1. 16-1. Rocky's Diamond 18-1. Bar those. Aidan, this is a race that you know very well. You rode Paisley Park to probably one of the most iconic Cheltenham Festival winners in recent times.
Yeah, it's a race that's been, I'm sure he should have won a couple more, but he didn't. But I've been placed in it a few times as well. So it's a race I like. Whether it's the best race of the festival by any means, probably not. It's of the 4 championship races of each day, the feature races is probably the least attractive. But anyway, it was good to me. Look, it's very hard to go against Tiahupu, to be honest. Train for the race. This is a better race than it was last year, I'll say. Home by the Lee looks to have improved at 10, which is a bit crazy. There's a couple of value horses here. I'm going to say in the Wallpack again, even because I was fancying him for the Pretemps. If he ran in this, he'll definitely be in the money, so he's an each way bet. And the other horse, again, he's up there, but Lucky Place. The only reason this horse is that price is because I just can't understand it. Every horse Nicky Henderson has, not every horse, sorry, but a lot of the horses, they get overhyped. Whereas nobody even knows this horse exists, basically. And he's won 2 Grade 2s and won them quite authoritatively his last 2 runs. But it's just because he probably doesn't have those bigger owners, or I don't know why. The lads have any opinion why he's not talked up like, you know, Nicky's horses tend to be? And that's not knocking them. It's just.
I suppose it's the colours.
I would imagine that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he had, say, any of the other.
If he was Joe Donnelly's or one of these people, McManus,
what price would he be? Do you think?
He could be shorter. Yeah, the colours make a big difference. The price of the horses.
100%, because it's the hype and it's the talking and all that. Like literally, nobody knows Lucky Place exists. They really don't. And like, you watch his form this year, he was good at Ascot and he was good at Cheltenham. I think he'll stay. That's a little bit of a worry to me on this track. It's a little bit of a worry, but I think he's ridiculous value at 8-1. Really do. If I was a jockey and I had a choice, I'd be very boring here and go against Tiahupu, because he's trained by the race. I think they got it wrong at Fairyhouse when he got beat. They didn't make it enough of a test, and he got beat by speed by Lossiemouth, which is obviously not bad form by any means. It's very good form, actually. He hasn't ran since. He's best fresh. He's won it last year. This seems to be a specialist race. It's very hard to go against him, but I just think value Lucky Place.
Blogger, you were at Nicky's last week.
Yep.
Any vibes on Lucky Place?
Not really. I saw him gallop up the hill. He was just doing a small piece of work. They like the horse, but they know what they're up against with Tiahupu. I mean, they're up against the 165 hurdler who stays, who can handle good ground. He proved that at Punchestown. We'd love to see a drop of rain for him, but this is one of the bankers of the week.
Even with the ground as it is?
Yeah, because, you know, as horses get a bit older, they probably can cope with things a bit easier. I think one of the interesting things was that people don't know, after he got beat by Lossiemouth, they actually took him out of training at Gordon Elliott's yard and he went back to Robbie Powers for 6 weeks. This horse doesn't need much training to get fit. apparently after 4 weeks is fit as a flea straight away. So the less training they give him, the better he is. So they know their training regime and their periodisation perfectly. I think they've teed him up, and Jesus Christ, if I can get 11 to 10, 5 to 4 on the day, I'm going in.
Well, you can get 13 to 10 now, priced up, boosting bloggers.
Have a bit of that.
Yet again, 11 to 10 out to 13 to 10 to 2.3.
It's such an average stayers hurdle. I mean,
I say that every year, though. Like, literally every stairs hurdle is average.
yeah, like bar the days of big bucks and
But even
limestone
DB
lads and Bacchanals, and
They probably said the same about them ones, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? As in, what do they beat behind
it's
them?
not a sexy division, is it?
It just never is, because
Yeah.
they usually go chasing if they're,
Yeah,
you
any
know,
good.
so, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, home by the league, as Aidan said, he's improving at 10, but Tiapu spanked him twice last year. You know, lucky place. Will he stay 3 miles? You don't know. The Wall Park's a 152 rated hurdler. I just can't see anything getting near them, and I certainly can't make a case for Langadan at all.
Johnny.
Yeah, look, I was surprised at a few of these things in Ireland, the lack of love for Tihupu. Almost like if I was on a 5-man panel, a maximum one fancied it, and like a lot of these were jockeys and that didn't really think that he was setting an insurmountable standard. I don't think he sets one either, but it is difficult to put your finger on one that you'd say, yeah, I think he'll beat him. I'm not so sure. I heard a fella saying the other night, a jockey saying that, I'd never heard it before, that he was a very feminine horse. Did you ever hear him say it?
Yeah, no, we'd use that a lot. Yeah, not in public, but yeah, we'd use it a lot. It's more down to, I haven't actually seen him too much in the flesh. It's more down to the physique, basically. I would imagine.
Yeah,
it's down to the
and
physique.
that's why he doesn't run very often.
He obviously doesn't take graft, does he? Which, actually, to be fair, and now you've said it, that's a massive negative for a race like this, because this isn't war of attrition. This is 3 miles on a really stiff track, but he's been there and done it. And obviously they've trained him, because last year was the first year. Like, to run 3 times in a year, and there's 6 months between two, is like, it's actually ridiculous. But it's genius from Gordon Elliott's part, because he's identified that if he wants to have a winner at Cheltenham, if he runs this horse any time between November and now, he won't win. Which goes to show like exactly what that. Can I ask who said it, or is it?
Davy Russell.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
he's in Gordon's. He knows the horse well, and I would listen.
He
to that.
said a few interesting things about him. He said when he was beaten the year he was here, he ran in Gorn in the Galmoy hurdle, I think.
Yeah.
And there was nothing in the race. And at one stage he wasn't going great, and he whatever jockeys do, they get down behind him, and he took off, and he won by 40 lengths. But he said he emptied himself that day. But when he got to Cheltenham, he said at no stage in the race did I think I wasn't going to win. Everywhere it was going absolutely perfect. But then he said when I wanted the bastard to go, he wouldn't do it. He said he went left, he went right, he did everything bar go on. He said he wouldn't. No, he said when Kennedy rode him, he nicked 4 or 5 lengths out of the 3 or 4 lengths out of the field, going to the last. He said if it gets to a struggle after the last, he will not win.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But it's just, are these good enough to get it to a struggle is the thing, isn't it?
That's it.
That's the thing.
Like home by the lead, as Aidan said, it's hard to see how he can be improving. He appears to be as good, if not better, than he was other years, but he's 10 years of age at the same time. Lucky Place has stamina issues. Rocky's Diamond landed a gamble as a 4-year-old in Limerick about a year ago. Now he's only I think he's only a 5-year-old, Rocky's Diamond, and he's in a race like this, you know. So Langadan is hard to fancy. Like, it's very difficult to put your finger on one that you'd say can give him a race, but I definitely listen to people. I was actually kind of half fancying him, but listen to fellas that you'd respect. I'm gone off him now. I definitely would be closer to laying him than backing him.
It's opinions like this that make markets, and this is where I make money. Everyone keep going against Tiapu. Keep pushing him out so I can get a better price.
13 to 10 is the boosted price with Priced Up about Tiapu for Stairs Hurdle. Again, blogger backing the Fav, and Johnny and Aidan pouring cold water on it. That's been the story most of the night. On to the Trust to Trader plate, Jaguar and...
We're both from Cork, by the way. So is Davy Russell, so we're all good, yeah.
Jaguar and Cribilli, the 6-1 joint favourites. Firefox and Springwell Bay both 8-1. The company Sergeant is 9-1. Masaccio 10-1. Jordan's 11-1. Jenny's Destiny, Panic Attack, Safara and American Mike all 12-1, 14-1 bar those. It's difficult because you've all told me at different times that you don't really like handicaps, so I don't know who to come to first. But Johnny, you can take us away for the plate.
Look, again, it's a murder race, yeah. But look, Crebley was second in this race last year. He's £2 better off. He's in off
Went
one.
off short. I mean,
He did. He went off around 7-2 or something. Him and another horse. I can't remember the other one that was in around him in the betting. He found one to beat him. Look, he didn't run well in Aintree, and he hasn't run that well since. Saying that he's primed for here. Look, I think he has a chance. That's all. What will even run here? Jaguar won't run. Firefox, he'd probably go in the novice race. Where's Springwell Bay going to? There's about 6 entries, so that's going to be interesting where he actually does run. The company sergeant is probably not out of it. Massachi is going for the Ultima. Jordan's probably won't run either. Fellas are fancying Ginny's Destiny. I couldn't fancy that the way it's running. It's running stinking this year. There's other ones, then you go along, maybe American might. But look, Crebley has a chance. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with it, but it would be in minimal stakes, absolutely.
Crebley, the one at this stage for Johnny. How do you see this?
An absolute headache.
Yeah.
An absolute headache. I'd give Gavin Cromwell's horse a chance, who's not on the screen. He's called the Other Mozzie. Nace is very similar to Cheltenham. It's one of the stiffest tracks, and the long straight where you run all the way up is very similar to the Cheltenham straight. I think this horse has a live chance, and he's around 16-1. I think he's off a mark of 135. I think Gavin Cromwell thinks that he's got a few pound in hand, but this is a real head scratcher.
Trying to find a price for you now. 14-1 with PricedUp. The Other Mozzie. Aidan?
I have no opinion whatsoever, but I did do a preview the other day with Dan Skelton, and he was very, very sweet on Panic Attack. Really big they're up. It's the only horse I knew was running the race because I haven't looked at it, because I just refused.
I'd be interested to know what Dan Skelton was saying about Langadan in preview meetings previously. Like, is it a positive or a negative if he's in previews tipping up his horses in
He's running in the stairs, he said, and he dodged all the questions. But he was very sweet on this mare, actually. He was really quite even that I was thinking, geez, that's interesting for one of these races I refuse to look at now, because where does Springwell Bay run? Where does Jaguar run? Where does any of them run? I think it's just a waste of people's time looking at these until declarations.
On then. Panic Attack, 12-1. They're given a positive mention from Dan Skelton and another preview. Finally, the Kim Muir, the final race on the card on Thursday. Samagest, 7-1. Now is the hour, 8-1. Midnight are Fred, 8-1. Hashting and Johnny Who. I mean, we've spoken about a lot of these horses already, which kind of plays into the hands of what Aidan was just saying about we don't know where these horses are going to run. But at current prices, Blogger, anything you like?
Yeah, very keen on Walking on Air, who's been backed in from 25s into 10s. Sold out at Nicky Henderson's yard for 44 grand to Gary Brown, a trainer many people will never have heard of. Went to Doncaster for the 100 grand Yorkshire Chase, was punted in from 33s into around 16-1, came to win the race on the bridle and fell at the last. He's only gone up £7 as a result. The money's come for him all week long. We could be looking at a very well handicapped horse here. When this was with
backed winner the other day at Huntingdon, didn't he?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
When this was with Nicky Henderson, he was apparently the best workhorse in the yard. Really? So look, if Gary Brown can recoup a bit of that enthusiasm, we could have a very well handicapped horse on our hands, and the market's speaking strong. Walking on Air,
10-1 as it stands there for Blogger. Johnny?
Gary Brown trains out of McCoy's. Does McCoy have a yard?
So I've heard, but it's not confirmed.
Well, it'd be very easy to find out because it has to be a licensed yard. To be fair, I actually just don't know. AP has a yard.
Gary Brown trains out of that, I'd say.
Oh, well, that'd be fine. It's Lambourne.
What? But McCoy's just he owns the yard.
He owns the yard. Yeah, it'd be fine. I actually don't know where Gary.
I think that's where he does.
I know Gary well. Well, I could ask him, but I don't care. I don't care.
I'd say he's not the back of a clock now. Gary Brown is right, is he?
No, he's shrewd. Yeah, nickname's Geezer. Yeah, we like Gary at all. He's been skiing with him, and he's a good guy.
Good skier.
Yeah, he is actually, and he's shrewd. He knows. Nobody's heard of him, but he knows what he's doing, and he knows. I'd respect Gary a lot. I'm going to say about this, I said in most of the other handicaps. Don't care.
There's a horse in this. I actually asked him for it last night. I didn't think he'd get in. He's only rated 1-2-1. So I said it to Ruby Walsh. I said, a horse rated 1-2-1 isn't going to get in anywhere, is it? And he said it will. He thinks it will get in here. I thought 1-1. Like he's number 61 on the list. So I said, there's only 20 in the race. So there's 40 have to drop out. So I said, there's no way he'll get in. He says, he will. If he wants to get in, he'll get in. 1-1 will get him in. Horse called work in progress. He's belonged to Nick Gifford.
He wins, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's winning races there by half lengths and lengths. And I'd say he could win by a furlong if he wanted it. Do you know what I mean? He's one of those horses. He's won about 4 or 5 in the bounce. He's gone up from the low, real dog meat rate, 80 something. Up to 121 now, but I'd say he's an eternity in hand myself. And if he does happen to get in here, I presume they'll have some sort of an Irish young fella on him, Claimer or something like that.
Yeah.
He'd have no weight at all, and he's dangerous in the race like this.
Trying to find a price, but can't see him on the list.
I think he's around 20-1. Is he a work in progress?
25-1. There you go. Thank you. On to our naps and long shots. Blogsy, what is your best bet of the day on Thursday?
Yeah, Tiapu. Everyone's being really negative about him, calling him feminine or whatever they were calling him. I don't care if it's a him, she, whatever. It's going to win. Nap.
Right.
Assuming his gender at this stage, should we?
As for an outsider, the Gary Brown horse, I just said they're walking on a. He's a fascinating horse if you look through his profile.
Johnny?
I'll go Factor File as a nap, and I'll chance maybe Caroline Bamboo in the first race.
And Aidan?
I'm going to go Factifile as a nap, and the outside I'm going to go Dart and the Pretemps.
Great stuff. That brings our day 3 preview to a close. Thank you to the guys for sharing their tips, thoughts, and insight. Make sure you check out PricedUp.bet for all of the price boosts that we've mentioned. There'll be plenty more coming throughout the week leading up to the festival and during the festival itself. So look on the site, look on the social channels, and in the meantime, please ensure you're gambling responsibly and look out for episode 4 coming soon.